Hi there, welcome again to ASP.NET Core tutorial. We are learning about routing, and today in this video we will learn about attribute routing. Let's start. We will start our learning from what is attribute routing. Then we will learn how can we set the routes using attribute routing, how can we pass the parameters in attribute routing, and what is token replacement in routing, how to use routing with HTTP verb, and what is the control level routing, and how can we override an existing route. We are going to cover several things in this video. So let's open Visual Studio and let's cover all of these one by one. Here again we are using the same Bookstore web application. You can download the entire code of this application from GitHub repository. You can find the link into the description box of this video. Okay, now let's start about attribute routing. First of all, I'm going to open this startup class. If you have seen the previous video of this tutorial where I was talking about the introduction to routing, then at that time I was talking about this use endpoints method, and inside this use endpoints method we were using the default controller route. Either we were using this map default controller route or we were using this map controller route function and we were setting the default route. But here, since we are talking about attribute routing, so we will not use these methods and we will use attributes for the routing. And what are the attributes? Attributes are something that you define on your method or your controller class. If I talk about the example, then if you have used validations like the data annotations, in the same manner we will use some attributes to decorate our routing. So let's start one by one. If you have seen the previous video of this tutorial, then you can notice that we were using this use endpoints method to set our routes by using the conventional way. Now here we are going to use the attribute routing. If you remember in the previous video where I was creating a route for this about us page, then I need to define all these three lines again and then I was using that route for that about us page. But here we need to define the same thing by using attribute routing. Let's see how to do that. First of all, you need to open the same action method where you need to define your routing. So suppose I want to define my routing for this about us action method. And what are the attributes? Attributes are the classes that are used just like we have used validations on our model class properties. In the same manner, we will use our routes and we will define all the routes using attribute routing. This is how we use an attribute by using square bracket, and inside these square bracket you need to write route, and inside the route you can define your route. So suppose I want to define about us and that's it. This is very much easy as compared to the conventional routing. In the conventional routing you are defining three lines, but here you do not need to define three lines. You can simply use this route attribute, and inside the route attribute you can pass the URL name. Now let's run this application by pressing Ctrl F5. Okay, so it is working fine. Now let's type about us and you can see about us is also working fine. Let's do the same thing for this contact us as well. So suppose let's copy this entire code, paste it here, and this time suppose here I'm writing contact us. Perfect. Let's build the solution and let's type the contact us. You can notice that we are getting the contact us page from our application. This is how you can create very basic and very simple routes in your application. Okay, now let's move further. Now we will understand how can we pass some parameters in our routes by using attribute routing. Now suppose I want to pass some parameters in this about us page. So after this about us you need to create a slash, and after this slash you need to create some space for your variable. Okay, and if you need to define some variable part in your route, then you need to use these curly bracket, and here you need to type the name of your parameters. So suppose here I'm writing id, that's it, and here I can define my id. Suppose id is integer id. Perfect. Now let's run this application, and again if I'm typing about us and pressing enter, then you can notice that we are getting an page not found error. Why? Because the id part is mandatory. Here we need to define an id. Let's define the id, and this time you will notice that the page is working fine. If you want to see the value of this id over here in this about us method, then you can put a breakpoint over here and run this application in debug mode. Okay, let's type again the about us, and after this about us, suppose I'm typing 34, press enter. Here you will notice that in the id part we are having 34. Let's click on the continue button. Now suppose you want to define more than one parameters, so you can again add one more slash, and you can again type the space for your second parameter. Suppose here I'm writing name, and over here you can define a string name. Now you need to define id and name together into your URL, and both these values will be available over here in these id and name parameters. Suppose you want to set your URL in such a way that where first you want some hardcode value, that is about us, then some variables, again some hardcode values. Suppose here I'm writing test, and again you want some variable value. So you can define your pattern as per your need. If you will run this application by using this pattern, then first you need to define about us, then the id, then the test, and then the value of this name parameter. Let's run this application again. So first I need to define about us, then an id, then I need to write test, and then some value for this name. So suppose here I'm writing Nitish. Press enter. Inside the id parameter we have the value that we have assigned to the id, and then inside the name we have the same value that we have assigned at the place of this name variable. By now we have covered how to define simple routes and how to pass some values. Now suppose you want to pass some values in the query string. So if you are passing anything into the query string, then there is no need to define those values over here in this route pattern. You can simply create your parameters over here, and by using the query string you can pass all the values to this particular method. So suppose I'm not going to use this name. Let me remove even id as well. Now let's run this application again. About us, and this time you will notice that we are having the default values in both these parameters. Now if you want to set some values to these parameters, then you can use query string. How to do that? First we need to write a question mark, then the name of any of the parameter. Suppose first one is id is equals to 8. Then for the second parameter you need to use ampersand, and then the name of your second parameter, that is name. Here we need to define its value. Suppose here I'm writing WebGentle and press enter. So inside the id parameter we are having 8, and inside the name parameter we are having the value that you have passed from our URL part. Now let's understand how can we use the HTTP verb along with these routing. Suppose I want to define the route for this particular about us method. Let me remove all these things. Here you can define the HTTP verbs by using one more attribute, that is HTTP. If you will type the HTTP, then you will notice that you have all the methods: HTTP delete, HTTP get, head, options, patch, post, put. You can define the verb as per the implementation of your application. So suppose here I'm using HTTP get. Now what will happen? This particular action method will handle only the get request. And in ASP.NET Core MVC application, there is no need to write 2 lines for these attributes. You can even write all of them in this single line like this. This will also work. Or you can remove it all together from here, and you can write everything over here in place of this route. So HTTP get and your URL. If you are using HTTP post, then you can define HTTP post over here, and you can define your URL over here. Now let's understand how can we set the name of this particular route. So in the second parameter you can use name, and you can define your name over here. So suppose here I'm writing contact us. And the benefit of using this name is that you can call your routes by using this name only. So in future, suppose you are changing this part, then there is no need to make any change in your application, because you are binding your routes by using this name. And similarly, if you want to define the name over here, then you can simply put again a comma, and you can simply use the name property, and you can define name for this particular route. Now suppose you want to define the order in these routes, then again you can use one more property with name order, and you can define the order value over here. Now suppose you have two similar routes in your application, then you can maintain those routes by using the order value. Now let's remove all these routes from here. Let's learn how can we use the token replacement in this application. Now suppose you want to define your default route by using attribute routing, then what do we need to do? So first of all, let's open this startup class, and inside the startup class, let's comment this method as well, because this method is creating a default route for our application. And here, instead of using both these methods, we can use one more method, and that is endpoints dot map controllers. That's it. Let's see the details of this map controllers method as well. Let's right click on this one and choose go to definition. Okay, let's expand this one, and here you can notice that it is written clearly adds endpoints for the controller action to the I endpoint route builder without specifying any route. So basically it is not specifying any route, it is just creating the endpoints for the controller's action. Okay, let's close this one. And now let's open the home controller. Now if you will run this application in this state, then you will get an error. Here you can notice that there is no page visible on the browser. If I type the home index, then again you will notice that we are not having any page over here. Okay, now let's use the attribute routing over here for this index action method. So we can simply use route, and inside the route we do not need to define any value. That's it, because the application will match only the part that is written inside these inverted commas, and application will map this URL to this particular resource. Now let's run this application again by pressing Ctrl F5. Perfect, you can notice that we are having our home page by using attribute routing. Okay, now suppose I want to have the same thing that we have written into the conventional routing, like home and then index, basically the name of the controller and then the name of our action method. Then how can we do that? So there are multiple ways. First one is that either you can use home and then index. By using this approach it will work, but now here you need to define everything as in hardcode values. Suppose for example in future you are going to update the name of your controller, then you need to update your route as well. Similarly, if you want to update your action method name, then also you need to update your route. So we can remove this problem by using the token replacement. Let's see how to do that. So here we can use again the square bracket, and in the square bracket we can simply type controller. Perfect. Then again we can use one more square bracket, and here we can use action. Now what will happen, whatever is the name of your controller, that will get replaced over here in this first part, and the name of your action method will get replaced over here in the second part, and your route will work perfectly. Now if you want to define this pattern for all these action methods, then you need to copy this value from here and then paste it everywhere. But there is one more simple way in ASP.NET Core. You can cut this value from here and paste it over here on the controller level. Now what will happen, suppose you are passing home controller, then it will map to this controller part, and you are passing index, then again it will pass to this action parameter. For the about us action method, you need to simply use home and then the about us. Let's see how it works. So first I need to type home and then index. You will notice that the page is working fine. Click on the about is also working fine. Click on the contact, everything is working fine. If you will click on the all books, then you can notice that this application is not responding in the well manner. Why? Because we have not defined any attribute route onto our book controller. Let's do that as well. Again run this application. Right now you can notice that we are not having the home page without passing any URL into the browser. There is a reason behind it, and we will discuss that reason in this video as well. So first, if I am typing home index, then it is working fine. Click on the all books. This time you can notice that the application is working for the book controller as well. By this point, the get all books method is working fine. Now suppose I want to get the details of any particular book. Let's click on this book, and you can notice that the URL of this application has been updated like this. First you are having book, then get book, and then the book details and the 6. Suppose I'm going to remove this value from here, and simply I want to press enter. Then you will notice that we are having the 404 page. Why is this happening? Because we are defining the routes at two levels. First one is we are defining the route at the controller level, and then we are defining the route at the action method level. If you want to override these values, then you simply need to use an tilde symbol like this. Now whatever you have defined over here, these values will override the previous setting that you have defined into your controller level. Similarly, in the home controller, we can also override this route by using this tilde sign. Again, let's run this application by pressing Ctrl F5, and this time you will notice that without passing anything, we are having our home page. Click on the all books. This one is also working fine. Click on the view details, and this time you can notice that we are having our same URL, that is book details and the ID of this particular book. Perfect. Now suppose you also want to define the route for this get all books. Then you can simply use the route, and inside the route you can simply pass all books. And we need to override these settings by using this tilde sign. And if you are not using these settings over here, then there is no need to use this tilde symbol. Let's press Ctrl F5, click on the all books, and this time you will notice that the URL has been updated. But if you have noticed that we are not updating anything into the HTML links, then how all these things are getting updated automatically? So for that, let's open the Visual Studio again. Let's go to the navbar code. So the code is available inside the shared and navbar. So here is the header, and here you can notice that we are passing simply the controller name and the action method name. And if you are using these anchor tag helper, then whatever route you have defined onto your action method, that route will be used automatically. There is no need to make any change into this application. This is how you can use attribute routing in your application. In the next video, we will learn how can we use some constraint into this attribute routing, because those are very much important. Make sure you hit the like button of this video. If you have any questions or feedback, please ask into the comment section. Share this video and feel free to subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.